we recently released our debut album, Lower. It's a concept album with a very convoluted story and an unnecessary amount of lore. The story was heavily inspired by the writings of H.P. Lovecraft. I've always had a fascination with his strange, otherworldly, fictional mythologies. He always wrote about these indescribable horrors which would incite madness at the mere glimpse of their existence. Right now, the story of this album exists only in my mind. I've never actually gone ahead and penned out the narrative. So this series is going to be kind of an attempt to convey the general story of the album, maybe in a less poetic manner than I do in the lyrics. To even begin to explain the story of this album is thoroughly intimidating. There's a tremendous amount of world building and backstory that's not explained on the album at all, and I think I want to keep it that way. If I were ever to do a full-fledged presentation of this story, I would definitely want to do it in a more theatrical way, whether that be a graphic novel or an animated film. Unfortunately, I don't have the facilities to do that right now. So I'm going to focus on the parts of the story that are actually conveyed on the album. There's plenty of stuff that I would rather leave up to interpretation regarding the background of the story. So, where do we start? Our story focuses on the plight of one man who is an integral piece of his world and part of a much bigger story that's going on. He's a man who bears an incredible burden and responsibility, though it may not be apparent to him. And though he's not aware, he has made a commitment that will subject him to unimaginable torment and extreme tests of human will that ultimately will determine the fate of many lives. From our perspective, the story will seem to start somewhere in the middle, and it's very clear that there are significant events preceding this tale. But as far as the protagonist is aware, this is the beginning of the story. I plan to go through the album track by track and explain the events that take place in each song, and together we will unfold the dark story of the Pilgrim, as he's known in his world. Make sure you tune in next week for the first episode in the series, where I will go through Encased in Ashes, the first track and the introduction to the story.